Welcome. You are listening to Mike Hamilton from Trade the Easy Way, and I'm starting with oil here. Put a call out today on oil. So I started buying at 71.5, pretty much the low of the day. That's not meant to be me catching a bottom. That's just the price I was watching. If we look at this 24 trend line and all the support, we had a big move up from the 17th of Jan, and that's pretty much not far off where we launched from that point. So if we hold this and we see an increase in volume, I would expect that to continue to push higher back into 80 and possibly 85 plus. One step at a time. Let's see. We're not far off the close today. Here we are, just gone 1 o'clock Eastern time, just gone 6 p.m. London. So I'm going to watch this with interest and see if I pan back from that, we look as if we can punch back into 75. We're not far off that now. So a nice move up here off of key support. Let's see if that is going to be sustainable this week. Quiet week on the data front. Just remind myself what we got. I've had quite a lot of data today already, haven't we? ISM services. Right, so this week we got Aussie rates overnight. There's a lot of data, but none of it's that significant. 10-year US bonds on Wednesday. Weekly jobs for the US on Thursday. Yeah, it's very, very quiet. Like I said, a lot of data, but not necessarily that significant. So, yeah, so looking forward to seeing if oil can pick up. Let's update ourselves on where the dollar is, dollar index. So we popped up. Surprise, surprise, the market's now waking up to the fact that if these interest rate cuts are going to come along, they're going to come along in the second half of the year, not the first half of the year. So we're seeing push back into resistance on the dollar, which is with the obvious consequences for commodities and gold. So, I mean, gold sits like oil, gold sitting on this 24 trend line today. Um, but I don't think this is sustainable. I think we could find ourselves coming back under 2000 and dropping right back into 1975. Got this big gap down here at 1834, 35. That can stay open for as long as the market likes. Just because that gap's there doesn't mean it's going to get filled anytime soon. But I do feel we're seeing a series of lower highs. And I think when the markets get like this and they're tilted to the upside, yeah, thanks for joining me. Good to see you. When the market has got a lot of people sitting on one side, then you tend to need a basic consolidation pattern would involve that dipping back, knocking out some weak hands, and then pushing up. So we saw that here. We saw that here. So we look as if we want to come down. Yeah, see, this 50% here, 1974, 75 is the July support, and of course the December support, mid-December support. So all the time this gold is just drifting around. We're going nowhere at the moment with gold. Let's just see if that is going to pick up. Right, let me just put that back because I feel naked without my fib ratios on there. Right. So certainly no reason to short it, but could need a deep pullback. Look at silver. So yeah, silver's feeling the pressure of the dollar, and that is pulling right back. We've broken some structure here. So as with gold, I would not um, put money against seeing that coming down to 20 bucks again. Doesn't look happy. Could even come down to 23 lows at 19.90 if that dollar continues to come higher. Right, let's look at the Nasdaq. Um, so Nasdaq's been charging away so far this year. So ever since we dipped into the 5th of Jan, first Friday, we've been picking up. So we're a three-wave move to the upside. Where's my pen? There it is. We've had so we dipped into back end of last year and picked up on the 5th of Jan. We did a 1, 2, three-wave move, another pullback last week, and then we're pushing up, breaking up into these highs. So 18,700 is my target. I think these pullbacks are still viable. Quiet week. We might end up being range bound here for a week. Any dip into that 17,000 is a potential gift. So we have seen some weakness today. But if we push back into 23 highs would be very welcome from where I'm coming from. Otherwise, I would just sit back and let it drift because we're pretty flat here. So we could go flat, we pull, there's the dip that gets it going. We've gone flat here, there's the dip that gets it going. So we're flattening out. That needs another dip to get it going. In the meantime, like I said, I think 18,700, 1900 is a possible target there, assuming we can keep up and the volume keeps up. So what the Nasdaq does, the rest of the market follows. Let's see what the UK is doing. So here's the FTSE. So we had this push up of this key from this key support. There's all the key support. So we look to a three-wave corrective wave here. So potential wave one, if we come back to 7,500 and hold, then I think we can get back up to these highs. Any significant drop, and if we come down here hard on weak volume, then we need to get short. But if we just drift and pull back here, and then the volume picks up to the upside, then I think we can expect this to go back to 8K. All right, so we are definitely, obviously we've got all this resistance up here at 77.25 or 77.50. So we're going to need a good punch through there to knock that out and get that out of the way. But in the meantime, we're sideways, likely to need a pullback into 7,500 if that is to get going. So we've broken out of this pattern here. If we pull back and retest it and survive, then we're going back to the highs. So if you're patient, you may well see that dip and get a chance to buy. Otherwise, if we're too bullish, then we're going to get above 7,700. So you need to start buying higher. Right. So markets at the moment are sustaining these highs, fighting off a strong dollar, and surviving at the moment. Right, let's have a quick look at a couple of commodities before moving on, because I don't want to spend too much time here, and I'm sure you don't either. So wheat we have seen some better volumes in the wheat. There's a very nice wheat move. So at the moment, with this floundering, we could well see 550 again. I am buying these dips, but I'm going to get out if we don't hold these levels here because I would love to buy at 550. Any push under 550 with an immediate close higher would really get me in there. So, I mean, the volumes, we have had a couple of decent volume spells here, but we're just not going anywhere. So I'm guessing we're going to want to come lower first to because if that it's we're just not getting bid in the way in a sufficient volume to push that up. So at the moment, I need to be very cautious and be aware that that could slip back further. Corn. I love these commodities. I think they're, when they catch a bid, wow, do they move? And we've seen that with orange juice. Corn is look, corn looks if we could come and see 410. 4.5, obviously, with all commodities, big numbers are crucial. So if we can hold 450 and start to see this volume pick up, then maybe we're not going to come any lower. So we had a buy signal here on the 30th. But we need to see that dollar's really pegging it back. This is what can happen when a commodity gets bid. This is orange juice. So it went, so last year, about this time last year, we picked up from 20 and went all the way to 42. And even this recent pullback, look at the volume here. We start to see a decent volume in the orange juice on the 17th, and then we go on another run, yet another run. Okay, so you just need to be really patient with these commodities. What else do I want to look at? Let's look at copper, cocoa. Right, okay. So copper's already had a couple of tests of 87 here and pulling back again. So the dollar's pegging this one back as you'd expect. Um, Looks like we might see 82. Where's my, let me see. I don't think I've got cocoa on the list. Let me go and find it. Don't know why I haven't got that on the list. I'm in cocoa, New York cocoa. Let's look at Wisdom Tree. Wisdom Tree March contract. Whoa, yes. That's a nice move. Wow, that's gone. Um, well, in theory, it's once these things move, it's really tough. Yeah. So look at soybeans. Soybeans are very interesting. They are sitting on 23 lows on volume. That's if we hold here, it starts to close higher and the volume picks up, then beans are for me. Right, so I'm dipping my toe into these commodities, but tentatively I will add if they start to really show up. Right, stocks, let's keep the theme on. This is Rio. So we had a big move up into 23. We're pulling back. Keep a very close eye on Rio because that's got an awful lot of support down there. Glencore. I was talking a lot about Elementis last year. So Elementis has been on a run. That's now got support at 129, 130. TPI cap. Been on a run. 173 is the pullback on that one. And Man Group. Doing well. Rolls-Royce, yeah, okay, good question. Thanks for that one. Let's have a look at Rolls. Um, where did I put Rolls? Right, let's go and find it manually. It is on one of my key lists. I can't find my key list. Right, yeah, we are holding up on volume. We look as if we are getting a bit tired up here. Um, If we can't close above this 310, 315, then we could start to peel back to 250, 260. Like I said, once these things go, they can be a little bit tricky to get into. We've got this trend line coming underneath it. So it could be, if it's really bullish, we may only see to 285, 290 before it gets another leg up. If you look what happened back here, so we pinged up in July 27th, and we pulled back right into late October. So once we did that run, we pulled back. So we've done a huge run here. Um, so it is possible we need a deeper pullback right as far back as that level there. But if we sit back into 290, 295 and hold on volume, then that could be your entry point. Otherwise, I would be patient and look to see if it can get a bit beaten up and dip further back into 250. My preference would be to sit tight and see if you can get 250. Are you in this? But yeah, a really nice pickup from October onwards, isn't it? You're not. I would sit tight and see if you can get 250, 260. The December support is about 275, 280. I would sit tight. If it runs, then you just gotta let it go. Quick look at miners. Pan African, they're at 19, pulling right back. That might pull back to 15, 16. Gotta be, gotta handle these miners carefully because if all those commodities come under too much pressure, these miners might really pull back quite swiftly. Um, right. Let me look at. I want to look at healthcare. Glaxo. Wow, running. Bristol Myers. Keep a very close eye on this one. It's really struggling. If we start turning around here, there's an awful lot of support down here on Bristol Myers. We start turning around here, that could be a nice one. So AstraZeneca. AstraZeneca are already coming in contact with a very, very handsome support there. Let's look at some retailers just to get a feel for um yeah, retailers are suffering a bit. Let's look at Boo. Pulling back into key level of support. having been seeing 42, I mean, if you're wanting to really dip your toe in the market on retailers, then Boo is a possibility. Sainsbury's, right? I'll look at Anglo in a second. Yeah, so Sainsbury's has been on a good run now, probably right back into support, and that's a very handsome close. 2 bars back. Right. Um, you want to have a look at Anglo. Yeah, I think this is looking good. I will be very patient. I would wait for a higher close here, but if that, because we've got this huge drop here, we're still sitting inside that 8th December drop range. So it could so easily pull all the way back to 1675. But we have seen some volume pick up down here from the 1750 mark. So I just give that a little bit more time, but I like the chart. Just want to look at a couple of others. Update on Drax. Uh, Liking Drax, not right now, but we're on a really nice run to 544. Let's just see if that can pull back and sit in this support. Let's see if we can pull back to 450. Let's look at Andy's JD Sports. Ooh, yeah. So it had a nice move into 120, and here we are getting right back to the lows. This is the so I think this is trending to the downside. Um, and what we've got here is, there's the initial. So we're not holding up with sufficient volume. So they started to drag it down. Huge sell signal at that point. There's the capitulation. That's a bearish pullback into resistance. And here we are potentially cracking that low, looking as if we could come down to 85. So we're coming down on volume. So at the moment, that does not look good at all. Right, I'm done. Any quick requests before I go? I'm drawing. That's it. Okay, well, thank you very much for joining me, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.